Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, the people's rapper, Jon Connor. Y'all know what it is. We got my dog, J.A. We got my dog, L Boogie. We got my dog, G Money. And this is the Connor Culture Podcast. Y'all know what it is. You dig? Let's get a round of applause for us being back in the building.
Hey, back up
So,
in there.
let us know, man. What's the topic for this week?
Yes, sir. So, topic for this week is South by Southwest. So, for those who do not know, South by Southwest is an annual event. It's held in Austin, Texas. Usually held in March, mid-March. So, it's a conference, a festival. There's tech industry there, film industry there, educational institutions. Just the real hub for the culture, and obviously it's a music conference too as well. Jan, there is a lot that happened in your career that sort of centers around South by Southwest, so we'll get into some of that today. And actually, let's start here. Do you remember the first year that you went to South by Southwest? Like, and also, like, how'd you find out about it? Because I don't think a lot of Flint cats was talking about South by Southwest before I remember you going first.
So yeah, no, I don't think anybody in Flint knew about South by Southwest at the time that I went. To answer your question, the first time I went was 2011. And the way that I heard about it was one of my managers at the time, a cat by the name of Young Sav. Like, he was like, "Yo, we got to get you at these festivals. We got, because he was our industry plug. Like, he was the one who knew where the festivals was and the events we needed to be at. Like, a lot of that early stuff that I was doing, 100% of the credit goes to Young Sav, because he was like the guy on the inside who worked for the labels that knew how to break an artist. So he knew that South by Southwest was something I needed to be at. And like you said, Flint sometimes is so much a bubble unto itself that if it's going on outside of Flint people don't know about it. Like, us being a prideful people is our best and worst attribute, is that sometimes at our best, Flint can motivate us and drive us and inspire us to go out and reach for more. But sometimes we can get so Flint that our ears are closed to anything that's going on outside of Flint. And I just think at the time I was like in a bubble where I had no idea that South by Southwest was even a thing. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah, no, me neither. Like I said, until I saw you, I was like, "What the heck is South by Southwest?" And I'm like, "What is John doing down there?" So
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, did you go with a team, or did you just go by yourself? Like, you heard about the South by Southwest, you just went out there by yourself, or you had a whole posse of cats on out there with you?
Well, so in 2011, when Young Sav told me about South by Southwest, I wanted to research it. I wanted to look it up and just see what the event looked like. Now, at the time, this is 2010 that he told me this. So YouTube and posting videos on YouTube, this is still kind of like a newer thing. You know what I mean? So the footage of what South by Southwest looked like at the time, it was crazy. It was just like a bunch of people that had like raw footage, and it was like artists in the middle of the street networking with each other. It was a bunch of, like, you could just see in Austin, Texas, in these strips where all of these venues are, you could just hear music coming out of all of these venues. But the thing that intrigued me the most, that I was tripping out about, I'm like, yo, artists just be walking around, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm tripping, like, this is crazy. So for me, I looked at it like, and a lot of times I'll equate things to pro wrestling because I grew up watching it. I'm looking like, this is WrestleMania. I'm like, yo. For those who don't watch pro wrestling, WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl of wrestling. And
Hmm.
what I meant by looking at South by Southwest like this is WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the one time of year that even if you're not a wrestling fan, you're aware that something wrestling related is going on. Just like people that don't watch football, like when the Super Bowl is happening, even if you're not a football fan, you're aware that the Super Bowl is happening. Like, that event has everybody's attention. So when I saw what South by Southwest looked like, I'm like, oh, this is WrestleMania for the music industry. It's Everybody in the music business is there. So if something's going to happen that you want to send shockwaves through the whole industry, do it at South by Southwest, because all of the A&Rs is there, all of the DJs is there, all of the artists is there, all the independent artists is there, all the sign artists is there, all the label reps, all the presidents, like all of the industry is sending their artists to Austin, Texas for those days to make an impact and gain a fan base and gain notoriety or get attention. So I'm thinking like, oh, this WrestleMania. If I want to get the attention of the entire industry, I need to take all of the attention away from these sign artists and these artists with buzz. I need to create a spectacle. And that's what the Super Bowl is. That's what WrestleMania is. It's spectacle. Like, what makes the Super Bowl different than any other Monday Night Football? The halftime show is bigger. The spectacle of the national anthem is bigger. It's in the biggest stadium. The promotion is bigger. Okay, what makes WrestleMania different than any day? Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, the promotion is bigger. It becomes a spectacle. So I'm like, oh, I get what this is. This is something where I need to go make a spectacle. I need for everybody to be leaving Austin, Texas saying, I don't know who Jon Connor is, but that motherfucker was going hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was going to know who I was when they left Austin. And so when you ask me, the question is, did I go by myself? No, I did not. I created a spectacle. At that time, I remember thinking that street teams, when I was coming up, was a big thing. Like, you would always see, like, back in the day, like No Limit with their street team, Bad Boy street team, Rough Riders, Rockefeller. I would read these stories in Double XL and the Source about all of these labels having a street team. And by like the early 2010s, for whatever reason, maybe it was because of the internet, street teams that kind of fell off from being a thing. And to me, it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A street team will still work if you do it right. So me and about, I think, 25 to 30 of the homies, we drove to Austin, Texas from Flint, Michigan. We had 2 vans. And we drove all the way from Flint, Michigan to Austin, Texas with street signs, Jon Connor shirts. And we had our little picket signs. We had our chants. Y'all could look it up. Anybody that's watching this right now, type in Jon Connor South by Southwest. And so right now we're talking about the first year I went, 2011, where, the second year we did the Army fatigues and made a bigger spectacle. But the first year, yeah, we did the Jon Connor tees with the picket signs, and we made a pretty big impact, man. Had everybody talking about us that year.
Dope. Y'all was out there, Blue City Club. You know? I remember them days, man.
Yeah, we was.
I remember them days. Yeah. So, you said y'all went out there, 2 van loads full of people. Was this? I mean, I ain't trying to get all up in your pockets and all that, but was this a expensive trip? And how did y'all fund it? Like was it a label supporting? Was it just out of pocket? Was it just hustling? How was y'all funding this? And I mean, do everybody have to pay to enter? And how does that work with South by Southwest?
I'm gonna keep it real. So my other manager at the time had a relationship with a former NBA player by the name of Jason Richardson. And in the early days, and that's a good question, because, bro, I don't know if a lot of people know this. A lot of the early funding of Jon Connor came directly from Jason Richardson. He was like the silent investor, like the silent partner. So it was like when I would have these big ass ideas, it was like Jason Richardson was who we would go to fund these things. So my other manager had hit me and he was like, because Sav, like I said, he was the industry dude. My other manager was kind of like the hustler that was like with me in the streets, like, you know what I'm saying? And then Jason Richardson was the finances. He was the silent partner, you feel me? So I can remember after I had saw what South by Southwest looked like, I told my other manager, I'm like, we need to go to this. And I said, we need to make a spectacle. Like I said, if it was ever a time we was going to spend a large amount of money, it's this. And then he was like, you sure? I said, hell yeah. I said, everybody gonna be there. I'm like, so if there was ever a time we needed to go spend some bread, it's at this thing, South by Southwest. So he was like, all right, how much we talking? And I can't remember how much it was 8,000, 10,000, or something like that. I can't remember. But I just remember being like, this is what we gonna need. We gonna need this. I had like a laundry list of shit that I felt like we was gonna need, and boom, they made it happen. So, and I like to take the time too right now, and I never got a chance to say this to him, but if Jason Richardson ever see this, I want to thank him so much for all of the support he had gave in the early days. And I could never say thank you enough to him for everything that he invested, because man, he definitely did. He helped us make miracles and magic with like a lot of these ideas that I had. If Jason Richardson wouldn't have been like funding the shit, then it wouldn't have been happening. So it's always loved him.
Big up to Jason. Big up.
Yeah, most definitely. So everybody basically is down there, right? So A&Rs, DJs, indie artists, signed artists. So could you talk about like some of the connections that you made when you got down there, whether it's some of those people that you just mentioned, or was it any like record execs, managers, producers that changed your life, or maybe changed like a significant part of your career?
Well, first I'll start with the first part of the question, like people or connections that I met. I can remember I met Yo Gotti for the first time at South by Southwest. I don't know if me and Hobson had met before that. I don't know. But I remember me and my man Chris Webby definitely met for the first time at South by Southwest. I remember me and Young Guru. I don't know if Jay-Z's engineer. I don't know if we met at South by Southwest or if it was A3C. But I can remember we met at one of those festivals. Man, it was so many people. I got the footage of all this. I'm doing a documentary called South by Squad West, and it where we documented all of this stuff and everything. So yeah, but I got a lot of the footage, but I'm trying to think of just who else I met. I met so many people, dog. Yeah, it's too many. It was so long ago, and it was so many people, because with people, if they've never been to South by Southwest, literally it's like artists everywhere, like you just walking down the street and there go Bun B talking to Paul Wall, and they just kicking it, like eating, you know what I'm saying? And you keep walking down the street, and then you just in the middle of the street running the freeway, like, oh shit, what am I doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like, damn, like, what's up, bro? Like, you know what I mean?
Like, did you bust out like rapping anybody rap, like just like straight into fan mode, like, oh, if you know what we do is wrong.
Hey, it'd be like that. I think, man, damn, too. Who else? I feel like the first time I met Steve LaBelle was at one of those festivals. Shit. Yeah, too many to name.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned before meeting. Didn't you met KLC Mystical and Mia X at
Mia X at South by Southwest? Yep, because I had to do Sway in the morning. Yep. Right. So, and because that's the thing too. When you an artist and you go to South by Southwest, if you got good management, your schedule is gonna be pretty full. So, excuse me. Again, shouts to Young Sav. My schedule at South by was always, from the time I got up to the time I went to sleep, I was just drained, because it would be interview at 9 o'clock in the morning, another interview, then show, interview, show. And this is all day. Because like I said, the entire industry is there. So Complex is there, Double XL is there, The Source is there, Vibe is there, everything is there, Fader is there. Like all of these different like platforms, everybody is there because everybody's there. So it's like always something for you to do as an artist. It's always a hand for you to be shaking. It's always a stage for you to be on, always an interview or a camera for you to be in front of. So I can just remember, man, being drained by the end of those days. But yeah, it was crazy, hectic schedule wise.
Yeah. I know G just mentioned, what I'm saying, you walking by, you seeing all these rappers, all these cats, you know what I'm saying, on the street and whatnot, Did you go over to them and like, you know what I'm saying, just like start freestyling? Well, I mean, what was the stage looking like down there? Like, how was it set up for like the performances? Was it like,
Did I go up to him and start freestyling?
yeah, right, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Was it like showcases? But I mean, like, okay, you had Complex down there, Fader down there, all these different magazines down there. Did they have an actual stage that they sponsored and had their artists on there, or you know what I'm saying, did they have like different like pop-up slots, or like was that like a bar, patios, you know?
Well,
Was
yeah,
it like
it's all of that. So it's kind of like everywhere at South by Southwest becomes a venue. So they're like the bigger stages that like I remember there was a fader for it. I remember there was like a double XL stage. I remember Good Music had a stage, like certain labels would have stages.
Okay.
So it was kind of like you know, you had smaller venues, you had bigger venues, medium-sized venues. Like it was yeah, just the entire city of Austin becomes one big venue at South by Southwest is the best way I can describe it. And then there are different tier stages that artists are on the entire weekend.
So which kind of?
I'm sorry, the quick follow up to Boogie question. So you said Double XL was down there, right? So this was before you got the freshman cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you meet Double XL like originally down there?
I had a relationship with Double XL. I think the first time that they published me in a magazine might have been 2000. I think maybe 2010 might have been the first time that they ever published me in a magazine. So I think that I had already established a relationship with Double XL at the time.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
And,
My bad.
and the stages. I was just gonna say, which stages were you typically hitting? Were you hitting the big showcases, or did that evolve later? Like, was it the smaller stages at first?
That first year, I was on this I was on helly smaller stages.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next year I went back, I was on helly smaller stages and medium stages. Like the bigger ones was like the ones like the Good Music stage where only Kanye and them was gonna be on. And then you had another one that like that these were label bought stages that only people that were on those labels were gonna touch those stages.
Okay.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So was it like that first year or any other year actually? Did you have any performances that like for you felt like shifted the energy for you, or just where people people started paying attention?
I don't think it was one performance. I think that it was the entire weekend of people seeing me with 30 dudes with Jon Connor shirts on and picket signs. It was like we became like a monument. Like if people got lost, you'd hear people on the phone being like, "I'm standing on the corner next to the dudes with the Jon Connor shirts on." Like, you feel me?
Y'all was a landmark.
We was a landmark. We was a landmark. You see where the Jon Connor dudes is at? I'm standing right there.
Yo.
We heard that a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we knew. And you know what's crazy too? Like, he probably, if he remembered, he remembered. If he don't, he don't. But I can remember Guru definitely said to me, he said, "Hey," he was like, "Niggas, see what you doing." You know what I'm saying? Like talking about making the
Which
spectacle.
Guru? Was this Gangstar Guru or Young Guru?
No,
Jay-Z?
this is Young Guru, Jay-Z's engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, "Niggas, see what you doing." And I was like, word. And what's crazy about that too is I had a conversation with Bizarre from D12. The thing is, when you're in it, you don't really like look at yourself like you. When I'm doing whatever I'm doing, I'm just doing what's in my heart and on my spirit to do. I don't really kind of think about the effect that it's having or how it's being perceived. But one time, Bizarre, when I ran into him, he was like, "Yo," he was like, "Niggas that know you in the industry respect you because we know that nobody gave you nothing." He like he was like, when niggas saw you at them festivals with 30 niggas and you rapping and they and chanting and y'all, he was like, bro, he was like, if don't no other nigga in the industry tell you, I'm telling you, we respect you because you took your shit. And I was like, thank you. You know, it was humbling.
Dope.
Dope. You was sick one year and you was still performed.
Oh shit!
was the
What? How
story
you know
behind
that, dog? That makes me happy that you just brought me back. That's a
Yeah.
fact.
We do a little homework.
We do a little bit
Okay,
of
let's
homework. We do a little bit of
go.
homework. And then recently you mentioned something about Jordan in the flu game, right? Was it recently, or I think you had mentioned something about like that was the motivation behind performing, was that you remember Michael Jordan's flu game where he went out
That's a
there
fact.
and still put it on the line, like because it was championship time. So yeah, just what happened in that situation?
Well, yeah, weather changing, going from Michigan to Texas. I think that was the second year. I think that was 2012, and yeah, man, my voice was gone. I did one show and my voice went out, and I'm like, I can't believe this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I still did it, and I remember feeling like shit. But the inspiration behind it was, at the time, I done drug 30 grown men from Flint to fucking Texas.
Mm-hmm. Didn't want to let the team down.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You in a situation where now it's like, no, you are the example. You got to show them I didn't drag y'all down here for nothing. And obviously they came because they believe in something about me. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, all right, then it's fucking on. Then I'm gonna show them. Like, it was a lot of times, man. This is great because now I'm remembering shit. It was times, man, during this time that I was sick, and I remember these niggas complaining. I remember it being man, we tired of walking around.
My side heavy.
Exactly. Nigga, my feet hurt cuz it's too hot for this shit, bro. And bro, y'all should have heard the speeches I was giving in them vans with my voice gone. Y'all motherfuckers don't think that I'm tired. Y'all motherfuckers don't think. Oh man, what? It was, the speeches was crazy, and then I remember one time when they did hit me with the I'm tired, but I said I'll get out there right now. I've been rapping all day. I'm sick as a motherfucker. My voice gone, but I'll pass these motherfucking CDs out right now. And I remember I took the CDs, opened the door, and then that made everybody get out and do it.
Yeah.
My philosophy is, like I told you, I'm a fan of pro wrestling. So the thing is, like, Vince McMahon, they say about Vince McMahon, and that's the cat who created WWE, right?
Mm-hmm.
He will never ask a wrestler to do something that he himself wouldn't do. And I always felt like that's a redeeming quality of a leader. Like, it's very cowardice and whack. Like, for you to just have like a bunch of people doing shit for you and you telling them to do shit that in a million years you would never do. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I always took pride in these dudes behind me not just passing out CDs. I'll pass them out too. Like, these dudes, it ain't just y'all that's chanting Blue City Club. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs too. I'm doing the same shit y'all doing, and I'm gonna get on stage, and I'm gonna do these interviews, and I'm not gonna complain about it. Like, that is, I take pride, and that's the Aries in me, is like, I take pride in being the example. I take pride in what y'all complaining about. I do that and some. So I can't even remember what your initial question was. I'm on a tangent.
It's good. That's why I started the Counterculture podcast. But
What was the fucking question?
It was about the sick performance. Like,
so you on topic. Sick. Yeah, okay, so I was sick. So yeah, I'm passing out CDs, chanting Blue City Club and all that type of shit. And so it was hectic because I wasn't feeling my best, and I was being very hard on myself too, because I always like to give the people watching the greatest show that I could possibly give, and my voice was so gone. I just remember being so fucking mad that my voice was gone, and I remember saying it on the mic like, y'all bear with me type shit, you know.
Right.
But it was the people they fucked with it. But yes, I was definitely fucked up.
Damn.
Yeah, actually you did mention this before. I'd say we do homework and all that, but you mentioned the fact that you said somebody was making you tea or something, and you were giving shout out.
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
I forgot who you gave the shout out for making the tea and getting you right or getting you as close to right as you could.
It was Lyric the Queen.
Yeah, Lyric and Leah, like kind
Okay,
of.
okay.
This is really cool because this is like that's opening up the door for people understanding the dynamics of my relationships with everybody that was there. So Lyric the Queen, for anybody that's watching, a phenomenal artist from Flint, Michigan. Leah Mack, a phenomenal artist who did the majority of the female vocals for me in those early years. All of the women that was around back then, they really were like my sisters. It was like, so when I was fucked up, yes, they were making me tea, and I remember Tanae being like, "Deucey Bear, it's gonna be okay."
Sound just like today,
Yeah, I remember today. Little Deucey, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna do just fine. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna do great. And I just and man, and I remember my little sister, Lil Whitney, another amazing artist from Flint, Michigan. She was just a young pup at that time, man. I think Lil Whitney might have been 13, like
Oh
at the
wow.
time. She was just a baby, and she looked up to all of us. And I just remember, oh my God, this is taking me back, man. Like, I just remember her looking up to all of us. And I remember when my voice did go out, she was like a little sister, like, bro, you got this. It's going to be okay. Like, all of them kind of like putting the battery in my back and getting me where I needed to be. It truly was that group of people that went to South by Southwest. We truly were like a family, for real.
Yeah, that people out there, they might know Lyric the Queen from she was on one of those competition shows. I forget
Was
which
it
one.
X Factor?
Yeah, it was
I think it
one
was
like
X
X
Factor.
Factor, American Idol, or something like that. I remember her being a contestant on one of those shows, and that was kind of a big deal at the time. So I just putting that out there. People might remember her from that.
Absolutely.
Or so John, performing in that chaotic South by Southwest environment, how did it shape your live presence and your live performance? Let me see, today. Did it have any effect on what you do today?
Yeah, it did. It allowed me to understand like the how far I could push my body, as far as like it was times literally, I'm not bullshitting, like 11 shows in one day, and this is back to back to back to back to back. And so it kind of built up my stamina and my endurance. And
Yeah.
so it just taught me it was a crash course in, no matter what the scenario is, you always give your best, put your best foot forward. And even when you think you ain't got no more left in the tank, you do. It allowed me to reach down and find that energy reserve to give my all. So I take that on stage with me every time that I go out.
Word.
So I know you was doing back to back shows and all of that, but were you also like, was y'all focused on actively networking while you were down there, or you just letting the music speak for the most part?
No, we were actively networking. Like that was all a part of it. It's the better your show is, the more people are going to want to talk to you. Now go talk to them. Go home with phone numbers. Give those phone numbers to your managers. Let them do what managers do, and let's keep building this operation.
Okay.
Was it like one particular moment out of the many times that you went down to South by Southwest that you feel like had a major impact, that just like, because you was going down there obviously like, for a reason, like did you find that reason? Do you feel like once you got down there, like, yep, this is it right here, this was the moment I was waiting on?
I knew from the first time. First of all, the funny thing about that is, because we made such a big impact at South by Southwest, the folklore of Jon Connor is that I went down there a bunch of times. Only went twice. There was the first time with the all black Jon Connor shirts and the picket signs. Then there was the second time with the army fatigues and the spectacle. And you say, did we find the reason? Yes, because industry people people still talk about it to this day. This is like 15. This is what is it? 2025, and that was 2012. We did that. So what is that? 13 years ago.
Yeah.
13 years ago, and people still talk about that shit to this day. Like industry people, like I remember when you was at South by Southwest, and y'all had, and then that shit. It grows every year. First year it was, I
Right.
remember when y'all was down there with 50 niggas. Then it turned into, I remember it was like 75 niggas with you. Then now, bro, the story is, I remember when y'all was at South by Southwest, it must have been 100 niggas with y'all, bro.
That is dope.
It literally was like 30 of us, but every year the number gets big. Man, y'all niggas had the whole street blocked off. Y'all niggas had an army tank in that bitch.
Yup.
That bitch.
Yep. Like I still got the tank at the crib
Right,
too.
the
Like,
tank at the crib, bro.
Right.
And I let them have it, bro.
love that.
But did I find the reason? Yeah, like I said, when we do the documentary, and this talking about it now is making me want to really complete that South by Squad West documentary, because it's on camera where I can remember walking the streets of Austin, Texas, the first night we got there, and I just looked around. I said, man, we about to fuck this shit up. I was just looking around. It was like when Scarface said, this town is like one big pussy that's waiting to get fucked. Like, that's how I felt, bro. I felt like Scarface, like, oh, ain't nobody thought of this shit. Nobody thought to come down here with a bunch of people with picket sign and like take it old school. Literally, I'm the only person that thought of this shit. I'm like, oh, we about to fuck this up. And like, the thing is, my cousin Cass Swift has always been like my right hand man since we was little kids. So he was right by my side the whole time. And I just remember telling my cousin Swift, like, cuz we are about to fuck this shit up. Like, what we about to do is gonna fuck everybody up. Because labels are not gonna give an artist enough money to feed 30 niggas, clothe 30 niggas. They're not gonna see the benefit from like a major label artist. A major label artist couldn't go pitch that to no label. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, you want to do what? No, absolutely not. You're gonna go do these interviews, touch these stages, shake some hands, and get on a flight and go home. So the thing is, we had the luxury of being hungry and being willing to do whatever the fuck needed to be done. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was my mentality. Let's do whatever needs to be done to where it don't matter who here, whether it's Kanye West, Jay-Z, Wiz Khalifa at the time. These are the artists that were at the festival. It don't matter. We want everybody to leave South by Southwest talking about Jon Connor, and they did. Because I remember when The Source came out that year, we in that, like, I still got the article somewhere, like, we were everywhere where anybody was talking about South by Southwest, there was pictures of us.
Just a quick follow-up question to that, Jon. Like, who would you say is the biggest artist that came up to you and like your team of like 100 people and was like, okay, like I like this energy right here. Like, who would you say was that person where you was like, damn, like we pulled such and such over here?
Wow. Wow. Oh, when Nas saw us.
Okay.
Word.
Yeah,
that's on camera.
It's on camera. You damn right.
It's on YouTube, I think.
This video. Yep, this video I got called No Thrills. So yeah, Nas was probably, it was crazy because I remember Saf came up to me and he was like, yo, Nas doing a show. He was like, well, he was on the phone with me. He was like, Nas doing a show on, he told me whatever street it was. He was like, so make sure y'all walk down this way. And he said, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna bring Nas out so he could see the spectacle. And that's what yeah, and that's what they caught on camera in the No Thrills video when he like, my niggas. Like, yeah. So that was a beautiful thing, man.
That's hard.
That's dope. Yeah.
All right. So I think you talked about this. You already talked about how many sets you hit in a day or in a weekend. What did you learn about the industry from being on the ground at South by Southwest in those other years? Is there anything that you learned from the industry, or how to move, how to navigate through the industry?
Yeah, that I learned that people are just people. You know what I'm saying? You know, you kind of create these monsters in your own head of who people are, how you should act around certain people, or whatever the case may be. But being as how South by Southwest humanized every artist because everybody was just co-mingling with everybody, it was like those were some of the first times that I realized, man, people are just people, humans are just humans. If somebody's cool, they cool. If they not, they not. But don't change yourself to interact with somebody else because everybody's just human at the end of the day. So I think that's one of those first times that I saw that, in the industry. Like everybody is just human. So just be yourself.
So I got another question real quick. When after you guys, saying y'all had to pick your signs, y'all out there doing the chants and yelling and screaming and doing the thing, making a spectacle, as you say.
Yeah.
How that energy, y'all took the energy back y'all came back to the mitten. How was it when y'all got back here? You know what I'm saying? When y'all came back here, did y'all keep that same energy going when y'all got back here after the first one and the second one?
For sure, man, because at this time, the momentum is just building. South by Southwest was just a part of a momentum that was already being established at that time. We was like doing shows everywhere in Michigan and then Ohio and then traveling outside of. Then I'm doing tours at the time and I'm going back and forth to New York to do Shade 45 and just I'm going to New York to do press and media. So it was like at that time, South by Southwest was just a part of the momentum that we had already established at the crib, and that was just a part of it beginning to grow.
Okay.
Do you think South by Southwest still holds the value that it held for you for new and upcoming artists today? Well, first that, and then I got a second part to it.
Okay. That's dope that you asked that question, bro, because when I have talked to people that kind of was of my era and of my class of artists that was coming in the game, the conversation is normally, man, South by Southwest ain't what it used to be. Like, that's what I hear from artists, and I haven't been since 2012. So I don't, I plan on going back. Just to peep what it's like now. But I heard, and this is just what I heard, people can, y'all can correct me in the comments, anybody that's been recently in the past couple years, but I heard it became too political, too industry, too, like, it still was the Wild Wild West in 2011, 2012. Like I said, everybody was like just mingling with each other. What I heard happen was the labels, like everything started to become, the labels bought all of the stages, and it started getting harder for independent artists to really get showcased. And you know what I'm saying? Like everything became very political is what I heard about South by Southwest. But I don't know that to be true because I didn't myself experience that, but that's what I heard when people would talk to me about it in the years since I went.
Okay. You actually answered the second question. I was going to ask if you plan to go back to South by Southwest, and if so,
yeah, I do. It's a movie part of South by Southwest too. That's specifically for people that create films. So I want to do the South by Squad West documentary and premiere it at South by Southwest. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be super dope.
Yeah, so I would definitely go back, man. Just it's like going back to like high school or going back and visiting your alma mater. Like I would go back and with pride just watch the young artists, go there with the excitement and the drive and determination that I went there with back in 2011, 2012, just watching young artists try to make their mark. And what's funny too is I heard this too, that in the years after we went, it started being people that tried to emulate what we did. But it would always, when people would tell me the story, it would always be followed by, but nobody did it like y'all did it. Like nobody has ever come close since, like, of doing it like that.
All right, dope.
That's dope. They didn't have them 200 people y'all had.
Yeah. They ain't had a 300 niggas. They ain't have all that. You know what I mean?
Each year it get further out though. Is the myth is gonna become bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right. Every time, dog.
That's all right though. That's all right though. You know what I'm saying? Jon Connor legacy still lives on. You know.
That's
It lives
dope.
on. What they
Mhm.
say, that's called what? Telegram? When you fucking tell somebody something and it just keeps
Mm-hmm.
growing and growing and growing. Like
Mm-hmm.
first the story is, yeah, such and such came over here with a apple pie. Then it come over there, and then it's such and such came over with the greatest fucking apple pie ever. Then it turned into, yo, such and such is a master chef at making apple pie. Apple pies, and that shit was the craziest. Like, you know, it's like it's just human nature. But think about that though. What we did was historic to begin with. You don't have to put no sauce on what we did because what we did was crazy. 30 motherfuckers drove 2 vans from Flint to Austin, Texas, with army fatigues on and canteens and fucking street signs and chanting and passing out CD. That's crazy enough as it is, but human nature is to take something amazing and blow it out of proportion. So I'm grateful that the myth has grown to the extremes that it has. Yeah, by now is I was there with 200 niggas and I had the no limit tank from the Make 'em Say video.
All right, so yeah, give us your final thoughts on your South by Southwest experience for this episode.
I think that those 2 years, 2011, 2012, of me going to South by Southwest, it created the folklore of Jon Connor to people that didn't know me. I became that is the shit that made me like a Daniel Boone or some shit, like a myth. Because if you didn't go to South by Southwest and you just heard somebody talk about it, then that shit became crazy in your mind. The people started to create what it looked like in their mind. They started to think like, what? That nigga was there with 100 niggas. This is crazy. Like, imagine that. Imagine the people that did see it telling the people that wasn't there to see it, or the people that got the CDs and went home and listened to the shit, and the way, and out of their excitement for listening to the music, they're retelling the story. Like, they like, yo, who is this artist you listen to? Man, it was a nigga named Jon Connor. They had on army fatigues, man, and they was walking down the street and they was chanting. I swear to God, it was like 300 of them, bro. It was like, and so that kind of added to the legacy and the history of Jon Connor, and it established me as somebody who within the industry. It established that I wasn't gonna take no for an answer. And if they wasn't gonna give me something or they wasn't gonna acknowledge me, then I was gonna take it. And that's still the mentality that I have today. Like, if people don't want to respect me or my contributions, I'll make you respect it. And that's what it was for me at South by Southwest. Is okay, I'm from a little bitty city that people really don't know about, and I'm talking this positive stuff in my music, so the industry ain't really trying to hear that. So it ain't no way in for me. So I gotta create my own lane, and I gotta aggressively create a lane to let them know I will be heard and I won't be silenced. And that's what that kind of, and I think that's why everybody that went with me, the whole crew that went, they believed in that. They believed that we're standing up for something bigger than just Jan's making music. This is, they gonna hear us because we from Flint, and they keep trying to ignore us. They gonna hear us because Connor is talking some positive shit at a time that people need to hear it, and they not letting his music be heard. Like, it was, we all believed in the same thing. Our moral compass was all on the same page, and that group of people that went with me to South by Southwest, it was a special time, a special group of people, just a special time period in music, just in general, man. And I look back on those times with the fondest of just fond memories and just fond feelings, man.
All right.
Dope. All right, you wanna close out this episode, yeah?
Well, yes, y'all, we're gonna do South by Southwest part 2. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much more that we could talk about South by Southwest, but we all have real lives that we gotta get to. You know what I'm saying? So this particular episode we had to cut short, but we will do part 2 and go deeper in depth with certain things. But y'all know how I do, man. I always thought the late great Jerry Springer ended the show great, where he said, "Listen, do your best to take care of yourself and each other," and we will see y'all next time, man.
Love. Coach
Peace.
Podcast.